you nurtured those relationships.
Yes.
You grew them both on the court, off the court, students, the community, all of those sort of things, and come back and you say, all right, I'm staying.
Yeah.
So let's get into this year because one thing you always hear in basketball is players get in a zone.
Yeah.
And you scored 41 in a game.
Yeah.
Were you in the zone? Is that a real thing?
Absolutely. I think it's talked about a lot, and I took a sports psychology class last semester, so I actually got to like see the psychology side of it, and that is a very real thing.
Welcome to Jacket Talk on LEBtv.
I'm Ramsey, LEBtv, Jacket Nation Sports, and I get the opportunity today to sit down with Miss Raegan McCowan. Hi, Raegan.
Hello, Ramsey. Thanks for having me on today.
You're very welcome. We appreciate the opportunity. I know hectic schedule. You're fortunately home a little bit for Thanksgiving. This probably won't air till later in December, but you're home, got some time off. That's a little different from normal, right?
Yeah, that's not a normal thing, not a super normal thing in college women's basketball. So I'm very thankful for it,
Especially from you guys start practice late September, right?
Yeah, we started our first official practice, I think, was mid-September. Yeah, first game was later October. So yeah, we've been in season for 2-ish months now, 3 months.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know you guys just when do you go with next game?
We play University of Cincinnati December 6th. Okay. So that's our next game. We practice Sunday. I leave Friday. So get to be home for the holidays. I'm thankful for that, though.
Well, I'm going to get started here. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Who's better, LeBron or KD, and why is it not KD?
I feel like Tim Cole put you up to ask me this. And nope. I'm going to go with the better scorer is Kevin Durant, because I've been a KD fan my whole life. I'm going with KD. I know everyone else is going to say LeBron, but I'm just very biased. I love KD. He's my favorite player forever, and he's the most lethal scorer in the NBA. That's just me. That's my opinion.
Oh, that's lethal scorer. He hardly plays. I don't get it. He's
the most dynamic scorer in the NBA. He's 7'1", can shoot the ball, can drive, 3-level scorer. I just think there's nothing else like him.
I'll give you some. I'll weight your answer based on you do have experience and you're playing college basketball, and I played not much basketball, but some.
Hey, you played for Coach Payne, though.
I did play for Coach Payne, yeah. Talked with Coach Decker about that. But I appreciate you coming in, and I want to kind of dive into student-athlete life, college life, some of the different things. But first, just kind of give us a little bit of rundown of your family, your history, that sort of thing.
For sure. So my dad's Scott McCowan here from around Lebanon. He actually is from Buffalo, Missouri. But my mom, Renee McCowan, used to be Renee Luthi. All of her family's around Lebanon. So I would like to say I'm very deeply rooted here. My dad used to coach basketball at Southeast Missouri State. They're also in my conference now, so it's kind of a crazy full circle moment. SEMO there in Cape Girardeau, and then later on, obviously, he moved back here as an insurance agent now. My mom, too, like I said, from Lebanon. I have 5 siblings. I'm the second youngest. So, yeah, I come from a big family, always playing sports. I'd like to say I got thrown around by my little brothers growing up, so that's probably what made me so tough nowadays. But, yeah, that's a little bit about me and my history.
And always basketball. I know other sports, but always basketball.
I would say I always kind of favored basketball a little bit, just probably because my background, my dad being a coach. But I played softball too. My uncle Jonathan and my cousin Cameron, she was the pitcher for our high school team. And my uncle Jonathan, Luthi, my mom's brother, he coached me all the way up. So I was actually thinking about playing college softball for a little bit. I had some opportunities, but I always knew it was kind of basketball for sure.
Why basketball?
For me, what I always like to say is with basketball, I feel like you can directly compete. And that's something that I try and take for granted. That's something that I love, just being able to directly compete against a competitor that's right in front of you. With softball, I always felt like there's just like so many things you can't control. Like it's kind of very individual. Like you go up to bat, you're the only person up to bat. You know, it's
Right.
you versus that pitcher. And if you're a great shortstop, like I played shortstop, if you're a great shortstop and you don't have, say, a good catcher or a good first baseman or a good pitcher, like you can't control that. So I would say with basketball, it's obviously very team oriented, and I just feel like it's a little bit more competitive. So
Gotcha. When at what age did you start to really feel like the next level was an opportunity?
I would kind of always say, honestly, that was a goal of mine. Growing up, we had some pretty rich talent, women's basketball wise, around Lebanon, and I always knew it's what I wanted to do. How to get there. I also had some great guidance on how to get there as well with my dad. You know, previously being a college basketball coach, he knew how to get there and what I needed to do to get there. So he always pushed me to be my best. But I would say really when I started to get serious was probably around like 6th or 7th grade. That's when I started playing like pretty high level travel basketball.
Right.
So,
well, and you mentioned it, the tradition and the local girls that we've had.
yeah.
Kelsey, Cameron,
Yeah.
Alexa,
For sure.
Jenna. Tell us, I don't think people get a really good understand as a little one when you're watching those players. And so obviously
Yeah.
you brought them up. So I know
For
you were
sure.
sitting there watching and,
Oh, yeah.
and emulating. So just kind of tell us what that was like.
Yeah, for sure. I would say kind of within those girls you've talked about, that team at Lebanon High School with Kelsey, Cam, Jenna, those girls were the girls that I grew up watching basketball. They're the ones who I watched, you know, growing up. That was kind of during like my formative years, I would say, when I really decided like I want to play competitively. All of those girls obviously went on to play college basketball or had a chance to. And then, of course, Alexa Willard. I lived with her at Timmy's. You know, she ended up being my assistant coach at Lebanon for a couple of years. Those are for sure some people that I ended up modeling my game after, you know, ended up taking great advice from. And I would say those people also for sure helped me get to where I am today.
Gotcha. So obviously those girls were some mentors. Who are some other mentors or athletes or coaches that you've looked up to?
Yeah. Honestly, I would kind of say my dad. He always trained me growing up until I was a teenager. And of course, you know, always you're going to kind of have this
Right.
with you and your dad with
Right.
a teenage girl and their dad. But he coached me all the way growing up, and he always knew like what it took. Sometimes I wasn't always the most, I would say, motivated as a little kid or as like a teenager. I would say once I started to grow up, I kind of evolved and I have this kind of internal motivation now, but I would say it all stemmed from him for sure.
Gotcha. So with that being said, and your game is constantly evolving, I know you talked with Kevin last night about the game speeding up or slowing down for you now, whereas freshman year it was pretty, I guess, chaotic and didn't really know right from left or up from down. But who do you emulate or try to play like on the court?
You mean NBA wise, WNBA wise, or just anybody?
Anybody.
I would say right now I love Anthony Edwards' game.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
I love Ant, man. He's one of my favorite. I try to emulate my explosiveness from him. I would say I try to emulate my 3-level scoring from Kevin Durant, though. So that's probably my big two for sure.
Speaking of Ant, I was a little disappointed in starting 5. What'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I would say, personally, I wish that it would have just been on Ant and just Ant.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish it would have followed them a little more personally within the season. Like I like how it kind of went to their families, went to see, like you could see like the perspective that they have, but I really wish it would have like followed them more personally, like throughout the season. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
I think for me, quarterback was so good.
See, I didn't watch quarterback, so I probably came in with like no expectation.
Right.
You definitely came in with like high expectation, but I didn't watch that.
I'm a big LeBron fan, much
Okay.
like Timmy. I'm a bigger Michael Jordan fan, but definitely
Me too.
Okay, let's just get into that then, because we talked with Coach Toombs about this quite a bit yesterday. I think it's Jordan 1A LeBron. I think that they're both equal.
Oh, I agree.
I just think LeBron, there's one step LeBron can't get to, and that's just the brand and all of the
Yes.
things that go with being an
Yeah.
athlete and a professional athlete.
Yeah,
So,
I
you?
agree. Oh, I completely agree. I think, I think it's really hard to compare them because they're both from different eras. Obviously, It's like you can argue like, oh, like Michael Jordan was playing against plumbers. Well, I don't really think he was. Like that's always the argument. It's like whatever, but I think Michael Jordan's game was so different, and it was like something that we hadn't ever seen before,
Right.
being that all-around player, which LeBron I think just took it to a whole nother level. But obviously, I'm not a super huge fan of LeBron, so I'm gonna say Michael Jordan. But
Not the only thing I don't like about LeBron. His
no, I
shoes.
respect his game for sure.
His game is great. His shoes are terrible.
Yeah, I agree. I would
KD's
agree.
shoes aren't great either.
I love KD's shoes. I'm pretty biased, but I love KD's
is that what
shoes.
you wear, or you guys?
I can't now. We're Adidas sponsored, so I wear Trey Young's, Anthony
Okay.
Edwards, Damian Lillard's. But
Gotcha. I like.
I
some
wore
Dame.
KD's all the way up until I couldn't anymore.
Dame is legit.
Yeah, he is.
He's just an assassin.
Dame time. Yep.
Yeah. Trey Young. I can't get on the Trey Young bandwagon.
Yeah, I think he's a little too crybaby for me, for sure.
I think, and it's also he's in Atlanta, and oddly enough, I don't feel like Atlanta gets the.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be a bigger name and a bigger
I
thing,
agree.
but it just feels like Atlanta's kind of always over there, and
Yeah.
the rest of the NBA is in front. But
For sure.
enough about that. We obviously agree Michael Jordan is the GOAT. She said it. I said it. We all say it. But LeBron is right there. KD, I wouldn't even put. I argue KD's not even a top 25 player.
All right. Well, he might have a knock on his legacy, whatever. Going to the Warriors. Okay, to me that doesn't take away from the player that he is.
He's good. He is.
He I mean, I just think he's beating LeBron in a one-on-one battle. Like, is LeBron taking him to the hole every time and probably scoring too? Yeah. But he's also stepping back, sniping one in his face every time too. So I'm like, score is probably going to be 21-21 if they're playing one-on-one.
KD would just break in half, though. He's so little.
I know.
He's
yeah.
like tall.
I know.
But I think you
Yeah.
probably have bigger ankles.
I
than
think
KD
I do
does.
too. Yeah. Have you seen his feet? His feet are about this long, just straight flat. Like, this is what his foot looks like. Like, it's concerning.
Well, I do enjoy his game, and can we agree that Steph Curry's not great?
See, I like Steph Curry's game. I think, from my perspective, the thing I take away from his game that I try to put into mine is the way he moves off the ball. It's insane. Like,
Yeah.
if you just watch like where the ball is, you don't watch the ball. You watch him the whole possession. Oh my gosh, the stamina and the motor you have to just
Slipping
all the
some
time.
Of those, you're around
Like,
the
it's
screens,
crazy.
curling,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. It is
Yeah.
pretty nuts because
it's crazy.
I think growing up, the way you played off the ball was talked about, but
Mhm.
like Steph, not only did he change the where to shoot from,
Oh,
the
yeah.
logos and
For
all
sure.
that stuff, but that sort of his game is something. When I was growing up, it was always talked about the Princeton and the backdoor cuts
Mm.
and how big those were, but
Yeah.
it was Princeton, so it was
Right.
never like really big, but
Uh-huh.
when they were good, it was big,
Yeah.
But watching Steph, he kind of took all of that to the next level.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see. But let's get back into a little bit more about you. You're a college athlete, a Division I athlete. Coach Toombs told me yesterday, less than 7% of high school basketball players make it to college and play on a college team.
Uh-huh.
What's it like? What's the difference between high school and college?
I think the biggest difference, and something that really frustrated me about high school is that when you get into college, everyone wants to be there. That's
Right.
everyone's goal, So you've got the best of the best all in one setting,
Mhm.
and ultimately it propels you to be better every day because you're with the best of the best and you're with everyone who wants to be there in that moment. I think that was my biggest difference from high school for sure.
And with that, being in college is changing.
Yeah.
One big thing that's talked about, NIL and transfer portal. So
Mhm.
I want to talk about that because we see in Division I athletes, I'm a gigantic Mizzou fan.
Yeah,
Luther Burden coming to Mizzou. It was a lot based on NIL.
for sure.
But then Mizzou loses transfers, they gain transfers. Mizzou's been really big in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So you were faced with a decision
Uh-huh.
after your freshman year, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to? I want to
No,
talk
for sure,
about it
yeah.
because I want to understand how you. I applaud you for loyalty, and I heard. I think you told Kevin a little bit about how it made your decision. But what about like how does that work? How does NIL work?
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Starting off with NIL, it was that law that was passed. I believe I was a junior or senior. Within that time, it wasn't like a super kind of big thing, and now it's propelled into what we know it as today. You know, you got people with deals with Nike, deals with Under Armour, you know, car deals, or you know, everything under the sun. It's a law that's been passed that states you can use your name, image, and likeness for yourself, and the school cannot use that without them paying you. And you have a right to use all of that under yourself and make money. Whereas previously, schools were able to use, you know, the athlete's name, image, and likeness for their profit. I think it's awesome. You know, it's student athletes are finally getting the money that they deserve, the light that they deserve. So I think it's an awesome thing.
So let's break that down there. You said if school wants to use your face,
Yes,
you actually have the opportunity
Yeah.
if it's a jersey or if it
Right.
were a T-shirt, you know,
Yes.
if it's printed. So it does
right
come
now
back in
I
that
make
regard.
I make profit off of like now I can't exactly sell my exact like Western Illinois, you know, like with Adidas or with whatever, but I can have jerseys with my name on it, my number, and Western Illinois, and I make the profit off of that for fully now. Whereas previously, I wouldn't have got a single
Right.
dime from that.
And what's crazy is it passed, it started, and now it's changing even more.
Yeah.
And there's talks of trying to scale it back or change how it's done. What are you hearing in those regards?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's honestly the wild, wild west. You've got boosters who are paying kids, and it's legal. You know, you can get recruited to a school, and a booster can pay you $100,000 or X amount of dollars, and you have to do only one. You know, you've got to do something in return for the money for it to be legal. So, I mean, you can do community service, you can do a signing, autograph, you know, meet and greet, or you know, but you have to do something in return for the money. So that's like the legal part of it, but it very much is like the wild, wild west. And, you know, basically, I don't want to say basically everything's legal because there's lots and lots of little laws when it comes down to using the actual image of your university. But other than that, using your personal image, you can use it for just about anything.
Right. How is the school helping you with that? Do you guys have programs, different things?
We've had several like third-party agents or organizations come in and talk to us about joining their NIL, like
I've heard of like Open Doors.
like organization. Yeah. Open Doors is one. We have like this thing called like NIL Club. There's lots of different little opportunities, but I think it's awesome that I think my university for sure is seeing that the doors are being open and allowing us, you know, to walk through them, and they're helping us, they're pushing us through those doors. But like I said, we've had multiple people come in and talk about the opportunities. They've also talked about it with us, like the legal parts and like how to help us. A lot of things we have to talk to compliance about, you know, so we're not breaking laws. And ultimately it's getting kind of, like I said, it's the wild, wild west, but also, some student athletes are getting their eligibility taken away for breaking these laws, and some universities are getting penalized. As you saw, you know, University of Miami got penalized not too long ago for that booster dinner that they had with, I think it was the Cavender twins, I want to say. But there's lots of little things, and it's definitely something that you have to keep your eyes open for because it can be dangerous too.
Right. Is it something you pursue and or are you finding that people are coming to you? Is it?
No, yeah, it's definitely I think coming back to Western for sure, they made it prominent that they were going to help me out, you know, and they were going to open some doors for me to get NIL opportunities. A lot of other schools, the way they had it set up is they have people to specifically push your brand and grow your brand to be bigger so you can have more NIL opportunities. I will say, like, if there's like some specific things I like or want, like I'll pursue it. But most of the big deals that I've gotten, they've pursued me.
That's pretty cool. Though.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
and it gives you the opportunity. I think one thing that's cool to understand is you're pursuing that entrepreneurial business kind of thing that
for sure.
that you're getting real world hands-on experience with.
Absolutely.
So, I know at one point you entered the transfer portal, but I want to go back. I want to talk about why Western Illinois.
In the beginning, the first time I picked Western Illinois, the big thing about me was their family atmosphere. I know it sounds very cliche, and a lot of people will say that, but this place was very different from every other place I had visited. I kind of had to look past, the small things that some people might go and look and be like, oh, I'm not going there because of that. Like, sometimes you got to look over the facilities and the location and to get to the good part. And I think really that's what I did. My coaching staff at Western, they're really like a second family to me. They care about who I am as a person before a basketball player. And I think now more than ever, you're seeing in D1 athletics that, you're just a number to coaches. And if you're not performing or you're not giving them what they want, then see ya, So I think that was the biggest thing for me at Western Illinois. The other thing is I fit in really good with the girls there. A lot of the girls are just like me, small town, normal people. So I think that was a big deal as well.
How big is Western Illinois as far as students, campus, the town? Yeah,
the town is about 20,000, so it's not really that much bigger than Lebanon. Our enrollment, I believe, is 10,000, so it's a smaller-ish D1 university, but I like it a lot for sure.
Well, it's got to be pretty cool to have some familiarities, meaning that smaller town feel.
Yes, for sure.
What are some of the things in high school basketball and practices and preparation kind of prepared you for high school or college basketball?
I will say one thing that high school prepared me for college was, I don't know, that's a good question. Having a lot on your plate, I think that's a lot what high school prepared me for. I know, like, in high school, I had, like, a very big role to play on my team, whereas in college, you kind of get that taken off of you a little bit. But it kind of builds up as well in college when you've got, your schoolwork, your social life, your obviously basketball, lifting, there's lots of things. So I think your role is different, but your plate is still just as full, I think, for me as it was in high school. So that's something that prepared me.
Gotcha. So as you play your freshman year, things go well.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably some of the goals you had weren't achieved, but overall, pretty good freshman year.
Yeah.
Get done with freshman year, opportunity to transfer happens.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your motivation to at least test the portal? I guess is the right way to say it.
I think I had seen what the portal had done for other people. Nothing was necessarily wrong at all where I was, but I saw the good things that it had done for other people, and I kind of wanted just to test it out and see, like, hey, what could be out there? What might I gain from this? Mm-hmm. So that definitely is what motivated me in the first place to at least, stick my toe in the water.
Right. Okay. So ultimately, you decided to stay.
Right.
Made the choice, and I think it's working out well for you.
For sure. I will say it was one of the toughest decisions I think I've ever had to make. It was way tougher than the first decision, which was, where to go in the first place. But to stay, it was even tougher because I got in the portal. As soon as I hopped in, my phone was blowing up. I probably had 35 phone calls or emails waiting for me, like, as soon as I got in. Like, these coaches sit there and they're clicking. They're seeing who hops in as soon as. So it's like they've got somebody on it 24/7 that it's clicking, waiting to see the new names that hop in. Like, it's actually insane. So I hop in, and once it's all said and done, I had at least one Power 5 school. I at least had one school out of every Power 5 conference reach out to me, but it ended up being I don't even know how many schools. Probably I would say over 30, but ultimately, I narrowed it down. Like, a couple of schools, like, were easy. Like, you don't want to go to George Mason or, like, George Washington or, Oregon State or, there's, like, ones that I was like, I kind of want to stay around the Midwest. So it was very easy to immediately narrow it down. Ultimately, I narrowed it down to the schools that were really, really interested in me. Like, I wasn't interested in them if they just kind of wanted to play around, because the way this portal thing works is it's open for about a month, and it's either you go visit, they offer you then and you commit, or you don't visit. They're kind of just messing around with you. And that wasn't something that I was interested in. Like, I knew I either wanted to stay or I wanted to go to some place that really, really wanted me, because where I was in the first place, you know, they really, really wanted me. And when I initially first hopped in, they made it very apparent. My coach had a meeting with me. He's like, listen, this door's always open. I know you're going to go on other visits, and, you know, they're probably going to have, like, nicer facilities, better this, but, like, just know you're always wanted here. You're always welcome back here, and I'm going to be actively still recruiting you to stay here, so I hope you're comfortable with that. And I was like, okay. So a couple weeks go by. The schools that I've narrowed it down to was Oklahoma State, Missouri State, Wisconsin, and then Iowa State and Mizzou. So out of those 5 schools, I only ended up visiting Wisconsin, Oklahoma State, and Missouri State. So out of those 3, I was pretty well, I'd say. The ones I was seriously considering were those 3, the ones I visited on. And once I went on those visits, I kind of realized, you know, I don't really feel done at Western. You know, I don't really want to leave. My best friends are there. You know, my coaches, who I think have my best interest at heart, are there for sure. And I really wasn't ready to leave, so I pulled my name out, decided to stay, and it's been the best decision so far for me.
All right. So it was clear you established relationships early.
Mm-hmm.
You nurtured those relationships.
Yes.
You grew them, both on the court, off the court, students, the community, all of those sort of things, and come back and you say, all right, I'm staying.
Yeah.
So let's get into this year, because one thing you always hear in basketball is players get in a zone.
Yeah.
And you scored 41 in a game.
Yeah.
Were you in the zone? Is that a real thing?
Absolutely. I think it's talked about a lot, and I took a sports psychology class last semester, so I actually got to, like, see the psychology side of it, and that is a very real thing. Yeah.
Really?
When we played Southern Indiana at home, it was a home game. It's kind of like you're in that zone and nothing else outside of that basketball court, like, you see or you're paying attention to. Like, that's how focused you are. That's, like, the only way I can really explain it. I remember the way that my sports psychology class explained it was like, the way your brainwaves are like this, but when you're in the zone, it's just like this the whole time. And I don't know, it's, like, really weird. That's the only way I can explain it. But once you're in that zone, if you've never felt that as an athlete, hopefully you do, because it's one of the best things that you can experience, in my opinion.
I bet it's crazy because, like, what I don't remember exactly what your shooting percentage was that night, but I think 60-ish%.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was pretty good, but no, yeah, that's a game I will never forget for sure.
And then, like, it comes across my Twitter feed, and I'm like, holy, like, 40, that's legit.
Yeah.
That's scoring.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes directly into that KD.
Yeah.
Because you were scoring from all, I don't remember exactly, again, how many three-pointers you had, but there was a few. And then you scored inside, outside that game.
Yep.
You know, with social media, I kind of want to dig into that a little bit.
Uh-huh.
With social media, we have the opportunity. Both coaches said yesterday how there are no secrets anymore.
Yeah.
You have that information in front of you. I think Lebanon is doing a great job locally here of embracing now social media and starting. I know Coach Decker was talking all about how important it was for just to create a Facebook page for the basketball team.
For sure.
And then giving the student athletes the opportunity to be on there. I heard you talking to Brian about media days and that sort of thing. So how do you embrace that, and how do you take advantage of that?
I think it's something to really take advantage of, especially, you know, with the new NIL stuff. It's really giving athletes a platform to build their name, image, and likeness, whether you're in high school or you're in college. I don't know if athletes are very aware of this, but you can also do NIL deals in high school too. Obviously, it hasn't been super explored yet, but I think social media is really giving athletes that platform to really be who they want to be off the court, but also share who they are personally, be who they want to be on the court, but also share personally who they are off the court. I also think it's a super big thing. I know for me, I use Twitter, it's called X now, as a recruiting platform. I think a lot of other athletes do as well, and I know that coaches use it as well as, like, a recruiting platform. So I think if you're not taking advantage of that and building your brand on social media, then I think you are really, truly missing out.
Well, like I said, fortunately for us, I know your dad always tweeting stuff.
Oh, yeah. He's very active.
You've been in. And so it's good for us to be able to see it and help bridge some of those gaps too with athletes. So I'm excited to continue following you that way. I've got a few more things I want to talk about. Most of the hard stuff's out of the way.
Okay.
But what's next? I know you got 2.5 more years of college basketball.
I don't know for sure what's next. Obviously right now I think it's very, very humbling to be compared to names like Juju Watkins and Hannah Hidalgo, Malaysia Fulwiley, you know. I'm up there ranked in the top 15 on ESPN in my grade, so I think that's something that's very, very humbling. I think if you would have told me that when I was here in Lebanon in high school, I probably wouldn't have believed it, you know. But I think honestly it shows me like how much I believe in myself. Like that's as far as it's going to take me. If I believe I can get there, then I'm going to. I know some people have saw ESPN has me like in the lottery pick for the draft for the WNBA. I think that's awesome. And ultimately that would be an insane dream, you know.
Right.
But I think for me, my career, I'm not really for sure what I want to do yet 100%. Ball-wise, really just see what opportunities are in front of me. If I want to take them, you know. If not, maybe go a different direction. But I'm not really for sure. It's kind of up in the air.
What is that like? So you're, I mean, I don't know that we put into perspective, like you're one step away from the Caitlin Clarks,
right?
The Diana Taurasi's, like all of that stuff. And we are seeing with NIL and with success from players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, like girls basketball, ladies basketball is on a rocket ship. Yeah. And how are you taking advantage of that? Like if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because you can't, you know, we're seeing hopefully some WNBA action in Missouri.
Yeah.
There's talks
hopefully.
of that.
That'd be awesome.
But you want to ride the wave as long as you can, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had some agents reach out to me already about, you know, playing professionally. Aside from that though, I think really where we are right now in women's basketball, I think, you know, obviously we're on a super big high. You saw last year the NCAA, the women's game had more viewers than the men's game. I think nobody would have expected that if you would have, you know, told them that in previous past years. But I think honestly right now, as a young girl taking advantage of the platform that the sport has right now, I think you've got to hop on the wave, you know, whether you're a viewer, you're a player, you know, you're within the sport. I think hopping onto it, it's just only going to continue to take off. So I think for me, building my brand and growing it, I think it's made it easier than ever since, you know, women's basketball is taking off.
What are you seeing it? How are you seeing it change in Macomb?
In Macomb, I would say, I mean, they call me Macomb's Caitlin Clark up there, but I think for me, it's I have a brand deal up there with Pepsi for sure. So like I'm kind of the face of Pepsi up there as well, in the bubbler drinks that they have. So I think a lot. I'm obviously associated, you know, with the university, with the basketball, but outside of that, you know, I think it's cool that people get to see me outside of basketball and kind of some other deals I have, because they get to see the real me. I would say, you know, I go to schools. I've given away free tickets to our games, you know, little stuff like that. I think this game and the platform that it has, you know, it's only giving young girls like me and other people platforms to show who they truly are.
Well, it's got to be pretty cool attendance, I'm sure.
For sure. Yeah, up. we broke the attendance record in Western Hall last Friday. 2 Fridays ago we played Mizzou, so I think that was awesome. Yeah, that was an insane game for us. Obviously, I'm upset we didn't win it, but we played good for 3 quarters.
So this is something I've always been curious about, and you mentioned earlier. So you enter transfer portal, Mizzou comes calling.
Yeah.
What was it like? That side of it, like going back and I mean, because you probably you developed a relationship or two with Mizzou.
Oh, for sure.
Through that process. And what was that like?
It was honestly very humbling. So the assistant coach at Mizzou, he was with my AAU program before he took that job at Mizzou. So I already had a previous relationship with him. I would say, obviously with Kelsey going to Mizzou, you know, I would never say I really had a dream school growing up. I kind of just knew I always wanted to play like D1, but I never had a dream school. I would say just being an in-state kid and getting that call from them, it was super awesome. I think what was even awesomer was being like I want to stay, you know.
Right. So, but I guess let me reframe that a little bit. We don't hear coaches talk about that. So
Yeah.
So coaches go out and recruit, let's say 100 kids.
Oh yeah.
75 of those kids fall off. They got 25. And in those relationships they build in that 25, those 25 people, then you get to go back and compete against that coach.
Right.
How was that? Like, that's what I'm getting
It
at.
was, so like you said, like that actually happens way more often than not. Like within the OVC, the coaches that I've played against that actually recruited me when I was littler, I mean, there's probably 2, 3, or 4 of them that did that. Now, within those, I remember specifically at SEMO, I went on a visit to SEMO and I really wanted to go there because my dad had coached there. And so I went there on a visit. They invited me. They ended up not offering me. It really, really hurt my feelings. I remember I thought, like, oh, it's the end of the world. Like, they didn't offer me. Like, I can't go to SEMO. Like, what am I going to do now? Well, end up playing them. I go off. We beat them. And it was the best feeling in the world. I will say, like, just kind of getting your get back at those people who doubted you. It's one of my favorite things ever. Like, just someone telling me that I can't do something and I do, you know? Which, going back to the Mizzou thing, obviously we lost that game. I had a pretty decent individual performance, but just being able to compete against those girls in that team. I played AAU with 5 or 6 of them on Mizzou. So getting to play against some of my best friends and the coaches that I know, that was super fun for sure.
So you get to go back, you get to play against Mizzou. What's the goals for this season? Where do you see, what do you think the team can do?
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, which of course, you know, everyone's going to say this, but my ultimate goal for this team is to win the OVC conference tournament and then get a bid to the NCAA tournament, go dancing. You know, I think it's everyone's goal, but I do think it's a very, very realistic goal for us this year. We've got a transfer from St. Louis University. She's a 6'3" post player. She has helped me out a ton. Especially like scoring inside. I don't get doubled as much, and if I do, I can just go to her. So I think that's helped me a lot. Gotcha.
So what would you have you in competition playing games, have you ever, you're a competitor. You mentioned one of the reasons basketball, because it puts you on an island, you got to compete against another person right there. Have you played or battled against somebody that you maybe didn't compete with? I don't. What's the competition level like? Like, how is it? How is that?
I think what people probably don't really realize is, like, at the D1 level, every single person, even down to the bench player, was the best person on their high school team. Right. Whether they went to a 6A high school, a 1A high school. I mean, obviously you're gonna have more probably bigger school players than smaller school players, but I think what people don't realize is, like, the competition you're going to get from those starters and the competition you're going to get from that very last bench player, it's that about this much difference. Right. You know, everyone is the best of the best. So being able to compete against those players, I think, makes you even better.
Do you have anyone on the schedule you're looking forward to competing with this year?
My big one was Mizzou. You know, I was super pumped up and excited to compete against them, especially on our home court. You know, you don't see that very often, I think. But another big game I'm excited for, I think, probably is Southern Indiana. They're kind of our rivals within our conference. So the team we played last year, and I had 45 or however many I had. But yeah.
Well, it's got to be cool to continue growing, continue evolving as a player. One thing what is your pregame like? Like, we're going back. Because I heard you have a pregame song, or at one point had a pregame song.
Well, I have this thing I do before the game, every game. First off, we have our pregame shoot around. After that, I go home, I take a nap, about an hour nap. I have to have it. If not, my whole routine's messed up.
An hour nap is terrible.
Hour nap.
That's like more than
I know. It's like more than like the power nap. It's bad. It's more than the power nap. It's less than the 3 hour that they want you, whatever. Okay. I take an hour nap. Kill me. But After that, I come back to the facility. I've got my headphones on, my little Beats overhead. I've got everything tuned out, blocked out. I think you're talking about Stir Fry by Migos, which is my pregame song. My college asked me last year what my favorite pregame song was.
That's not the one I was talking about.
What were you talking about?
Megan Thee Stallion?
See, I do love Megan Thee Stallion too. And Timmy probably told you that. Yeah. I'm a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan as well.
Okay.
So I'm either listening to Migos, Megan Thee Stallion, Big X The Plug. Who else? Boss Man D-Lo, he's one of my favorites as well. You probably I don't know if you probably know any of these people. But those are my go-to pregame people. After that, I go in the training room, get my ankles taped. I lay on the table, I meditate a little bit, turn my music off. I just sit, think. I think visualization is a really big key. I don't think enough athletes use that. So when I'm meditating, I sit and I visualize myself, making moves on people. Playing good defense, getting a block, getting a steal. I sit there and actually visualize myself doing that because I believe it will come true if you do visualize it in your mind. So then I do that. I go back out, get dressed, get ready, go warm up, and that's my pregame every time. So
how many shots do you think you take pregame? Because I hear some players have like a set number of shots.
Yeah.
Where you see the Wes Curry type thing where he does some trick shot usually before a game. Do you have like a rotation? Or?
Yeah, I do. My pregame shots, I always start mid-range, stationary. So like I'll make a shot in every single spot. So like I'll take a little step, make one, go all the way around. Then I go to threes, make one all the way around, and then hit 2 free throws, and that's pretty much it. Gotcha. We have, of course, our team warm-ups too, but that's my individual one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, it's been pretty cool to kind of dive in a little bit different, talk about some stuff that it's hard to put out there, and it's important that coaches and parents and young athletes too, because there's kids walking around in Lebanon. They don't necessarily know your name maybe, but they point and they understand who you are. There's opportunities to continue growing that, and I think it's really cool to have the opportunity to sit down and kind of relate back and talk about those stories. So I got a few more because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little teaser out about this, but you've already mentioned music, but what's your favorite song? One song on repeat all day long, nothing else.
I think you got to pick a genre for me.
No, that's not how this works.
Okay.
One song, repeat.
Can I pull up my Spotify? Or has it got to be straight off the dome? Straight off the dome.
One song that you could listen to and not like, okay, cool, you could get there.
All right.
Is it fast or slow?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of one. I don't know. Because it's like one song you got to listen to for the rest of your life, 24/7.
No, just a day. Just for one day. You got one song you have to put on repeat all day long, and then when you wake up the next morning, it's done. You don't have to listen to it again for a while.
Right now, I would say the song is probably... I'm going to go Levels by Big X The Plug. That's my song right now.
Levels by Big X The Plug.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that probably means nothing to you, but...
I was just told I need to listen to Kendrick Lamar and was like...
Okay. You don't know who Kendrick Lamar
I
is?
know who he is, and I know the one song that's like A minor. That song, but like
that's a diss track. Him and Drake got into it.
Yeah. Did Drake get like a lawsuit or something this week? Or does he something that Drake's in court or
maybe
something? I don't stay. If I don't hear the song on my
TikTok.
That
lyric though is about he's dissing Drake for being into minors. But so maybe that could be.
Movie.
My go-to all-time favorite movie, I think, is probably going to be Love and Basketball. Of course, that's
good one. Good
typical because I'm a basketball player, but I love Love and Basketball.
All right. Give me a quote. Something you got written down somewhere.
A quote that I think I lived by from probably since I was 10 years old is a quote by Kevin Durant. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. So that's one of my all-time favorites.
All right. Christmas dinner.
Ooh,
what's the
Christmas dinner? My go-to is ham instead of turkey.
Okay, fair. We can agree there.
Mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, and my staple side is cream corn.
Not terrible.
You don't like cream corn?
No, I do. I enjoy it. That's a pretty solid like lineup.
And a roll too. I mean,
and a roll.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes, lumpy
No
or
gravy.
smooth?
Smooth and no gravy.
I can't do the smooth, but
I
the
know.
no gravy thing's good.
Yeah.
People that like brown gravy I don't trust them.
I don't mess with. I like brown gravy on my turkey, but just not on the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I want the potatoes. Like that's good for me. All right. Well, I think this was fun. This was
I
different.
agree.
I hope we talked about some things you hadn't had a chance to talk about. Let's get one more something we can end on. Basketball player.
Yeah.
Right now, if you had to choose, you're drafting Bucher, Angel Reese, or Caitlin Clark. If you were if WNBA comes to St. Louis.
I think it's easy. I'm going Caitlin Clark all day.
Why?
She's the best all-around player. I mean, out of those three, I think she's like a mix of Steph Curry and I don't know. Everyone says she's female Steph Curry, but I think she's a good mix of like Steph Curry and maybe I'd give it a little bit Luka Doncic, the way his step back game is, I would say.
Right.
But no, I'm going Caitlin Clark. She's got the most swag, the most aura. That's a very popular word being used. I don't know if you know what aura is.
I do.
Okay, there we go.
It's one of those electronic rings you can buy, right?
No. I mean, yeah, but
it is that.
She has the most aura, so I'm gonna go Caitlin Clark.
She doesn't get credit for the her passing game.
Oh, I completely agree.
Like people just are like, well, she takes too many shots, or she turned, and it's like
she drops dimes. I think she didn't have the people to drop dimes to at Iowa. Now she's in the WNBA. Like she's truly dropping dimes. Yeah.
Right. Do you think how much has a player like Caitlin Clark changed the game, or an Angel Reese? Because Angel Reese, there was that big battle.
Oh, for sure.
Who's MVP or Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
But Angel Reese is that player she's that Dennis Rodman style.
Oh yeah.
But better offensively.
For sure.
She's not KD offensively, but she is a legit offensive threat as well, but she does the dirty stuff.
I think that argument was not legit, like comparing the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year. I think for me, it was an obvious pick, Caitlin Clark, because she had way more impact on her team. Like, taking away from the whole fact, the impact that she had on women's basketball, I think she impacted the game more than Caitlin Clark did, and that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. And she had way better stats, way better numbers, and those are undeniable. But a person like Caitlin Clark, what she's done for the game of women's basketball, I think really it gives almost the perfect model of what every little girl I think wants to be when they get to college. Like she's a great person. She has an awesome image. I think she keeps her image very clean, very professional, and I think it's been a great model for other student athletes to look at for NIL.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. I'm probably going to butcher how I asked this, but I want your opinion.
Okay.
So when we look back at basketball and we talk about the NBA in the late 90s, early 90s, everybody talks about it's more physical.
Yeah.
Players are teammates and that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't think what gets enough credit in that is, and you mentioned it, you guys, these groups of players are playing together on a team from 7th, 8th grade, you're traveling. And so it's not that the competitiveness isn't there. It's just now we see it on social media. If you like if you're arch rival, you're probably not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, for sure.
So what is that like? Because I feel like people don't push that enough to where it's like, well, they're nice. Or you see LeBron and KD at the end of the game. Like they're buddies. Yeah. But they're also competitors. And it's okay.
Yeah. I think, too, a big thing that what people don't understand is social media, you're going to be showing the best of whatever, the best of your game. No one ever posts lowlights of your game, Right. You see the highlights. You see them hugging after the game. But you don't see them cussing each other out on the block or getting into a fist fight before that. You know what I mean? I think that's a big thing that social media has also done on the flip side, on the negative side maybe, gave people, I think, an unrealistic perception of that. Whereas, basketball is always competitive and you're going to have friends within the game. I think when you step in between those lines, I think some people say they become a different person, you know, and I think honestly that's how professionals treat it. Like Katie and LeBron, you'll see them step onto the court in between those lines, be ultimate competitors, not be friends. And then it's so easy to where they can step off and turn it off. I think some people also, you know, can't do that. They don't have the luxury of being able to put, you know, their differences aside. But back to the social media thing, I think it really shows just like the best of,
right,
which can be a positive and a negative thing for sure.
Well, it's kind of cool to break. It's really cool actually to be able to talk basketball, but also talk about how these things are impacting your life. And, and hopefully we've got a little girl out there watching. You know, Coach Decker's a girl dad. I'm a girl dad.
For sure.
Timmy's a girl dad. And seeing these opportunities and what's happening in women's sports is pretty incredible. And we're excited to watch you play and look forward to what's next and what's to come. So thank you very much.
Of course. Thanks for having me on today.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we'll be Selection Sunday. We'll be seeing the Western Illinois team pop up there.
Maybe.
It'll be awesome.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you.
Welcome to Jacket Talk on LEBtv.